25th Rose Parade, and you're listening to the Dobyns-Bennett High School Marching Band, which hails from Kingsport, Tennessee. Last year, they marched in the presidential inaugural parade. This year, they return to the Rose Parade for the third time, and one way they prepare for the rigors of this 5.5-mile march through Pasadena. Not easy when you're playing a tuba, marching 28 consecutive circuits around the high school track. That's how they prepared. Now let's take a listen.
What do you say we celebrate good times?
Cute, Josh.
Hannah, you see what?
Did you come up with that?
I did not, though. The good folks at Stella Rosa Wines did.
Okay, make sure you give the credit where it's due.
Let's be honest. I'm sure some of us welcomed 2014 last night and maybe kept it going right into the morning. Perhaps they're on their way to tailgate, what have you. Here comes the entry from Stella Rosa Wines, and you can see it is quite the party as, well, they are getting down. And by they, I mean none other than Casey and the Sunshine Band as they help us here at Orange Grove in Colorado. They do. That's what I've heard, Anna. They sure do. The pinwheels, I mean, that is about as festive as it gets. I do want to also point out, usually the drivers of these floats are hidden deep inside them. Today, you see the bus there. The driver of the bus is actually the driver of the bus.
The party bus.
Indeed. It wouldn't be a party without Casey and the Sunshine Band today.
Let's dance.
Casey and the Sunshine Band. He made us earn it. He did, but it was worth the wait. I do want to point out this float winning the Judges Special Award, Most Spectacular in Showmanship and Dramatic Impact. Again, he made us earn it. Speaking of a man and a colleague synonymous with showmanship and dramatic impact, nice we can only be speaking of one dear friend and colleague, John Neighbor, joining us again. Johnny.
Boy, you're putting a lot on my shoulders, Josh. I don't know if I can live up to that. You know, Casey and the Sunshine Band, you'd think they would have spent all week preparing for the Tournament of Roses parade, but as a matter of fact, 3 days ago they were performing in Connecticut, 2 days ago in Biloxi, Mississippi, yesterday in a casino in Temecula, a couple of hours away. They just got to Pasadena this morning and only got to the float 2 hours before the parade began to do their fax check. So if you think it's hard performing on a moving stage, try doing that with 3 days of minimal sleep. It's pretty impressive. Now we go from KC to K9. The next float that's coming down the pike is a testament to Christy Schiller. She's a woman in Houston, Texas, who heard a story about a police dog that was killed in action, saving the lives of its handlers. But the local police department didn't have the funds to replace the dog with his highly trained requirements. So she and her friends went out and started raising money for just such an occasion. The last 2.5 years, they've funded the training of 50 different police dogs. 23 agencies, 9 different states benefit from this program. The first dog they trained, they call him Johnny Cash, and he's represented larger than life on this float that's coming right up. You'll enjoy it.
Thank you so much, John. And here it is. And of all the floats and all the animals that we saw, Josh, we both decided that this was our favorite.
My favorite. It's unbelievable to see this.
Well, I talked to the woman who was responsible for decorating this dog, which again is a replica of Schiller's own dog, Johnny Cash. And she said she not only saw pictures upon pictures of the dog that she was replicating, she actually went to parks all over and followed German Shepherds around and looked at the dogs. There's a real life version. That's Johnny Cash. And then she spent days and hours figuring out exactly what kind of grasses. That's decorated with uva grass, strand by strand. The head alone took 3 days. She even matched the markings on the dog's tongue to the real canine using lentils and dried rose petals. And then on the float are police officers and their canine partners. These really are truly their partners, and it costs between $15,000 and $20,000 to train a dog to serve as a member of the canine force. They've already donated more than 60 dogs to police forces in 9 states, including 16 there in Houston. And again, you just look at the detail, all of the different grasses used in combination, along with cinnamon, sushi grade nori, bent grass seed, airbrushed for texture and depth, uva grass, silky grass, Arkansas river grass, all made to look like that furry appearance and in just a remarkable likeness to the real thing itself. So thanks to Christy Schiller. She is an entrepreneur and just a philanthropist from Houston who saw the story of this dog that had died in the line of duty around the holidays 2 years ago. She was so taken aback by it because this police officer lost his partner. There's no way that the force could have afforded to get him a new partner. So she starts this foundation all on her own, and then lo and behold decides to publicize it here in the Rose Parade on New Year's Day. So she'll already be back again next year. But that's just emblematic of there's so much meaning behind a lot of these folks, really personal passions that are reflected here.
And it's a wonderful thing to be a part of. And I do hope that if you ever do get a chance to join us here in Southern California for New Year's, that you do come out to Pasadena. A lot of the places where these floats are built, float barns as we be referring to them, we get a chance to see them up close and to really hear the stories who give their effort to make sure that this can happen, and what stories they tell us. It is a beautiful thing to behold. Speaking of beautiful things to behold, we have so much more to show you here from Pasadena as we wish you a happy new year. More to come here at the Rose Parade.